Scene Mom says, welcome to the new podcast from former Phoenix radio host Danny Cutler. Each week bringing you independent music, industry news, the occasional interview, and other fun segments. Let's get to it. Scene Mom says hello and welcome to episode number 62. I'm Danny Cutler, aka Scene Mom, and I'm so happy that you joined me, whether it's as soon as the episode drops on Thursday or anytime during the week. I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're all doing well this week. It's been fairly uneventful for me here. I did have a great time last weekend judging the singer-songwriter competition down in Sturbridge. And though I did miss the protests that were going on the same day, it was really cool because I had to drive. I live at the top of Massachusetts, like right in the center. And I had to go all the way down to Sturbridge, which is almost right at the border with Connecticut. And so I basically just drove down the entire middle of the state. Only takes about an hour and 10 minutes, so not as crazy as it sounds. Those of you living in very large states like Arizona, you can't drive from the top of Arizona to the bottom of Arizona in an hour. Well, unless you're like some people I know. But anyway, that's beside the point. Many towns that I drove through while I was driving down had demonstrations happening in their town squares. And so they're just these little towns, but some of them had 20 people, some of them had 50, some of them had 10 people. It didn't even matter, but I made sure to roll down my windows, scream and yell, honk and cheer them on. So it was kind of fun. In a small way, I felt like I contributed, even though I couldn't be out there marching or protesting in person. So the competition itself, though, down at Deep Roots Distillery was really great. There's so much talent in this state and in the area, and that always makes it difficult to cut anybody from the competition. But I think all of us judges did pretty great. Great seems to be my word for today. Everything's great. It's all great. But it is really great. We did a really good job judging, I think. And I think we also provided some really encouraging feedback. There are photos over on the Scene Mom Says Facebook page if you want to see and learn more about the competition. I will be back down there in July for the next round, which is going to be a very long afternoon. Several people needed to bump their time from June to July. And so we only had 4 people perform this past month. So it's going to be those 4 or the extras who had to drop out on top of like 5 or 6 others. So it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be so much fun. Good thing there's amazing food at Deep Roots Distillery. I keep wanting to say Deep Cuts, but that's a bar in Boston. So So now it is back to the daily grind and also getting this next show out into the world. So I, of course, have got actually this week some pretty interesting music news for you from all over the board in the music industry, especially when it comes to music streaming. And of course, I'll have your moments in music history, your marketing tip, and I got a little fluffy news too, but it's also music related. And of course, some great independent music. It's great. So let's get back to it with the latest single from my friends over in La La Land, Broken Baby. This is called So Pointless, and you're listening to what Scene Mom Says.
Maybe You're listening to the Scene Mom Says podcast with Danny Cutler. It's now time for some music news.
Timbaland is catching some heat this week after dropping an AI-generated demo using the music platform Suno. But there is a problem with this. The beat was not original. It turns out that the track sounded exactly like a beat from indie producer K-Fresh Music, right down to the producer's tag. Not subtle at all. Once the clip was on social media, people were very quick to call it out, accusing Timbaland of basically stealing the beat, running it through AI, and claiming it as a new creation. Someone commented and said it flat out, "It sounds like theft to me." So K-Fresh responded, confirming that yes, it was his beat, and laid out the original track on Instagram for proof. Timbaland eventually went live to address the controversy, saying the AI demo was just for fun, not for release, and that he used it at Ghostface Killah's request, whoever that is. He also said he's reaching out to K-Fresh to clear things up. But this whole thing is sparking a bigger conversation about AI and music. Like, if these tools are remixing or recreating artists' work without consent, where do you draw the line? Especially for indie creators who do not have the same legal firepower to fight back when things like this happen. So yeah, AI is moving fast, but this could be a moment where artists really start pushing back and asking who is actually protecting our sound. That's going to be very interesting to watch. And it doesn't matter who did it. Timbaland makes the news because he's a big name, but I'm glad for that because it really underscores that this is going to become more and more of a problem. In other music news, a new report just dropped from Impala, the European Indie Music Association, and it's calling out what is becoming another growing problem, the rise of a two-tier system in music streaming. So what is that? Basically, streaming platforms like Spotify, Amazon, etc. are setting up systems that give major label artists a big advantage while indie musicians are getting pushed to the margins. So one big issue, these new thresholds that some services are setting, your music will not earn royalties unless it hits a minimum number of streams. Some indie labels say that 70% of their catalog is now earning nothing, and that is music that people are listening to and it's just not making them any money. Then there is Spotify's discovery mode. It boosts songs in recommendations, but only if artists or labels agree to take a pay cut. Now, that could sound helpful, but the report says it's skewed towards major labels who can afford to game the system. An indie artist who is working to make that 1,000 streams, I mean, what's a pay cut? It's basically nothing, right? And it's not just about money. Impala points to the flood of new music, including, here we go, AI-generated content and the rise of streaming fraud, all of which dilutes royalty pools and makes it even harder for real working artists to be heard. Thanks, Timbaland. So the message is pretty clear. While streaming continues to grow globally, the benefits are being stacked towards a small group at the top. Impala says if we want a healthy music scene and make it more diverse, platforms need to be more transparent, fairer in how they pay, and open to real regulation. Otherwise, indie music will risk getting drowned out in this ocean of algorithms and corporate control. And it's true, streaming may be convenient, but the system behind it is definitely worth paying attention to. So those two articles are actually related in that essence. It's really bad. It's going to take a turn for the worse, I think, if it ever gets better. All right. So a fresh study from Odyssey, which was shared by Radio Inc. back in May, found that a whopping 91% of drivers rely on local AM/FM radio for real-time news, weather alerts, and traffic updates. Local radio actually tops mobile apps and social media when it comes to getting breaking weather information. 90% and 83% respectively. And it isn't just weather. Radio also leads for traffic alerts at 90% and local headlines at 89%. So even with all the modern in-car technology, 66% of drivers still tune into AM/FM while driving, and 44% stream live radio via apps among tech-savvy drivers. 73% say it's essential for seamless listening between the home and the car. Now, there is a catch. Dashboards are removing physical radio buttons. Only 26% of new vehicles even offer a dedicated radio control, which is down about 10% from last year. And some automakers, like Slate Auto, are planning to ditch AM/FM completely in upcoming EVs. It's a move that really has alarmed emergency preparedness advocates. And it explains also why Congress is pushing the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Over 20 House members signed it in May, and the Senate version has enough support to beat a filibuster. So we could see some action on this over the summer. Odyssey's Reggie Shaw highlighted the paradox. As cars get smarter, local radio still remains a trusted companion in your car. The real irony is we're advancing infotainment tech while quietly cutting the one thing drivers have depended on for decades. So the next time you are on the road and a storm rolls in or traffic backs up, just remember that radio does more than play music. It's delivering vital, trusted information right when we need it. And I have stressed this as long as I've been in radio. It's so important, not just for music and for real people to curate those playlists, but also for emergencies. Spotify, they are making more emergency type things and alerts on your phone because more people are using it, but you can't know what's going on locally unless you're listening to the radio. So that is your music news this week. I will have links to all of this news in the show notes. And if you have any feedback or thoughts or music news to share, you can email me, scenemomsays@gmail.com.
I'll take a shine to the alchemist.
That was Boston-based band Lavina Falls with their latest single, Light and Low. They have a very simple message for those seeking comfort in this unsteady, overwhelming, and somewhat uninspired year so far. Quote, "The world is blowing up, so find yourself and your people and move forward together regardless and in spite of the chaos around." Well said. Scene Mom says it is time for some music history. On June 18th in 1967, at the Monterey International Pop Festival, Jimi Hendrix made his explosive American debut during the final night of the 3-day event. It was legendary. He closed with a flaming guitar that cemented his reputation as rock's next superstar. On June 18th in 1948, in New York, Columbia Records introduced the 33 1/3 RPM long-playing record, revolutionizing listening by fitting over 20 minutes of music per side, which ushered in the era of the album. On June 20th in 1969, at London's Trident Studios, David Bowie laid down Space Oddity, introducing the character Major Tom. The track debuted shortly before Apollo 11's moon landing, and it became one of Bowie's signature pieces. On June 20th as well, but in 1995, Michael Jackson released History, Past, Present, and Future Book 1, which was a double album combining his greatest hits with new material. It went on to become the best-selling multi-disc album of all time. And on June 22nd in 1971, Joni Mitchell released Blue, her deeply personal fourth album. Celebrated as a masterpiece of songwriting, it features timeless tracks like A Case of You and is often ranked among the greatest albums ever made. And that is some music history for you this week.
Never fall like money.
Another one from Boston, that was Crow Follow with their latest Fold Like Money. Scene Mom says it is time for your marketing tip of the week. Plan how you post in groups on Facebook. We are business owners. We are trying to promote ourselves in a place where memes, politics, and ads, mostly from bots, reign supreme. So naturally, posting in groups seems like a good option to target people who are more inclined to see you. But you have to be smart about it. If you're like me, you are a part of many different business and resident groups in your area. Most of the time, I see the exact same post in 10 different groups, all within 5 minutes of each other. Copying and pasting the same post and dropping it in several groups in a short amount of time, it's spam. It just looks bad. So what do? Respect the rules of your group, number one. Now, many moderators don't even follow their own rules, but that is another matter. Spread out your posts over time. If you have a marketing plan and a marketing calendar, you can better plan when your posts go out in groups so it will roll out rather than just drop all at once everywhere. And you have to check the engagement, because in most places I see, and because marketing is my thing, I look at this when I see the same post in all the different groups. I look and see who has liked it, who has commented on it, who is asking questions. And usually they're just there and there's no interaction at all. They're just a post and people just scroll by. The other thing is, are you engaging? If you are just dropping that post and not checking up on it, what is the point in posting in all of those groups at once? All it does is clutter everything up, clutter everybody's feed. It doesn't bring you any more business. It doesn't engage with anybody. A good marketing strategy has a purpose. If you aren't posting with a purpose, you are just spam and it will be lost in the feed. It's a waste of time for you and a disservice to people who are using social media. It's literally a quality over quantity situation. And as always, if you want to chat more about marketing and promoting your music or your brand, you can schedule a consultation with me at dannycutler.com. And you can also subscribe to the newsletter for even more, and the private Facebook group as well. And yes, all the links will be in the show notes.
I lost my mind on a brilliant Tuesday. I stepped outside into the sun. I feel just like a monster in I got my
was Arizona duo Dutch Holly with a preview of their soon-to-be released single, Phoenix. They're super cool. I love it when they send me new music to share. C-Mom says it is now time for some good news, fluff news. It's definitely entertainment news. You can be the judge on whether it's good or not. Nick Jonas, yes, of the Jonas Brothers, is going to portray Paul Stanley, frontman of Kiss, in the upcoming biopic Shout It Out Loud. Directed by Mick G., he directed Charlie's Angels and many, many episodes of my favorite series, Supernatural. The film is set to dive deep into Kiss's early days in the 70s, capturing their transformation from teenagers in Queens to the iconic Star Child and Demon, complete with fire-breathing, blood-spitting theatrics, and, of course, their legendary stage makeup. Now, Jonas isn't just playing the part. He's going to do the singing, and to pull it off, he is in vocal training so that he can nail those gritty, high-energy vocals on the screen. That's actually pretty good because regardless of what you think about pop singers and the Jonas Brothers, they do have good voices. And I think Nick also did... he was part of the 25th anniversary of Les Miserables. They did a stage performance, and he performed in that as well. He's got vocals. He can sing. So this will be really cool. Production is expected to kick off later in the year or early next year, with Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley on board as producers. Now, while Jonas handles Stanley, casting for Simmons is still in the works. So as I said, Jonas is best known from the Disney Channel, the Jonas Brothers, and Broadway. But fans are talking, and while some are skeptical, others point out that pop rock overlap. Kiss has had its share of catchy hooks and ballads, and it kind of overlaps with Jonas's own musical roots. The film promises more than just live shows. It is set to explore behind-the-scenes Kiss moments, their cheesy 1978 TV film, merchandising hustle, songwriting stories like Beth, and even the infamous Marvel comic with the band Blood. You guys know about that? Of course you do. Google it. Expect a very big ride into the rock history of Kiss. So that is some entertainment news. And with that, that's it for episode number 62. Links to all of the music and news that you heard this week will, of course, be in the show notes. And if you have feedback or anything you want to share, you can always get in touch on social media. Scene Mom Says on Facebook, DCutlerAZ everywhere else. And you can also email scenemomsays@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear, please share. I really appreciate it. I'm also an independent artist just trying to keep this going. Thanks as always for listening, and you'll hear me again soon. You've been listening to the Scene Mom Says podcast. Intro-outro music is Look Good for the Radio by Fairy Bones. Learn more about Danny and the show at DannyCutler.com.